welcome back. I'm Joseph Hoffman. Today we're going to be learning how to play the chords for Silver Birch Tree. You already know the melody for Silver Birch Tree, which you'll play with your right hand, and we'll be adding chords in the left hand. Let's come to the piano and take a look at how to play the chords we'll need. If you haven't already, it would be good to review how to play the melody of Silver Birch Tree in the original Silver Birch Tree lesson. There are 3 chords we'll need for Silver Birch Tree. In music, chords are often represented with Roman numerals. Yeah, Roman numerals were invented thousands of years ago by, yes, the Romans. And they used letters to represent their numbers. The letter I means 1. So when you see this in music, it means to play a 1 chord. A 1 chord is built on the 1st, 3rd, and 5th notes of the scale that you're in. So if we're in the D minor pentascale, the 1 chord will be built on D, F, and A. So if you see this symbol, or if someone says, play me a 1 chord, this is what you'll play. D, F, and A. The next chord we'll need for Silver Birch Tree is called the 4 chord. The Roman numeral that means 4 is IV. In the Roman numeral system, V means 5. When you put an I before me, it means 1 before 5, which is, of course, 4. So when you see IV, that means play a 4 chord. The 4 chord is made up of the notes G, B flat, and D. But to make it a little bit easier, we're going to put the D on the bottom. So we'll have D, G, and B flat. Don't worry about playing these chords right now. I'm just showing them to you, then we'll go back and practice them. The last chord we'll need is one you've actually learned before in Dinah. It's called the 5-7 chord. And for this song, the 5-7 chord, we will use C sharp, G, and A. So let's listen to all these chords. We're going to have, for Silver Birch Tree, first we'll need a 1 chord. That goes to a 4 chord. Then that goes back to a 1 chord. Then next to a 5-7 chord. And then finally back to a 1 chord. Now let me show you how to play these chords. Let's use these magic notes to practice. First of all, for the 1 chord. These are the 3 notes we'll need for the 1 chord. Why are these magic notes, you ask? Well, I'll show you. When I snap my fingers, watch what can happen. I bet you wish you could do that for your dirty socks in your bedroom. Okay, now when I snap my fingers, you'll see the notes appear that we need for a 4 chord. Here we go. These are the notes that we'll use for the 4 chord. Now, I'm going to snap my finger and have these notes move back to a 1 chord. Are you ready? Voila, the 1 chord. Now, next time I snap my fingers, these magic notes are going to change to the 5-7 chord. Here we go. There we have the 5-7 chord. All right, let's practice actually playing these notes on the piano. I'm going to snap my fingers and go back to a 1 chord. Here are the notes you need for a 1 chord. Can you say their letter names with me? Ready, go. D, F, A. Great. When you play that chord, you'll use fingers 5, 3, and 1 in the left hand. Why don't you try that on your piano? With 5, 3, and 1, play a 1 chord. Good. Now for a 4 chord, remember we'll need a D, G, and do you remember the letter name of this black key? This note is B, and so this one we call B flat. When you play the 4 chord, I want you to use fingers 5, 2, and 1. So what you'll do is you'll keep your hand basically in the same position as before, but I want you to slide your finger closer to, slide your whole hand closer to the black keys, and then just reach your thumb to the side. So your finger 2 will actually not be playing down here on the G, it will be playing up in between the black keys. your pinky will stay on D. And by moving your whole hand forward, your thumb will be able to reach that B flat better. Now, for smaller hands, if your hands are having a hard time reaching that, two things you should try. First of all, make sure you're bringing your fingers up into the black keys. Also, if your hand just can't quite reach from the D to the B flat, another way you can play this chord is just play the G and the B flat, and don't play the D with your pinky. Just slide these two fingers up, your thumb reaches over to B flat, and you can just play these two notes, the G and the B flat. Now, let's practice going from a 1 chord to a 4 chord back to a 1 chord. I want you to push pause and practice that about 3 or 4 times, playing this pattern that you see here. You're going to go 1, then 4, then back to 1. Push play again when you're ready to continue. Great. Now let's practice going from the 1 chord to the 5-7 chord. For the 5-7 chord, just like we did for Dinah, you'll need a finger 1 and a 2 on G and A, and then your pinky will just reach down to the C sharp. So I'd like you to practice going from a 1 chord to a 5-7 chord back to a 1 chord. Push pause and try that pattern about 3 or 4 times. Then push play when you're ready to go on. Great work. Now here I've drawn for you the sequence of chords that we need for Silver Birch Tree. A sequence of chords is called a chord progression. Let's say the chord progression together. Can you name all these chords with me? 1 chord, 4 chord, 1 chord, 5-7 chord, 1 chord. This is the order of chords that your left hand will play for Silver Birch Tree. Let me show you what it will sound like once. I'll play the chords and sing the melody. Here we go. Silver birch alone in the meadow. Great. Then on the next line, it's the same chord progression again, starting with the 1 chord. Standing all alone in the meadow. Good. Now, I'd like you to try that same chord progression. I'll put it up here, and then you can push pause and practice it as many times as you need. Once you're comfortable with this chord progression, try singing the words of the song while you play those chords. To get the hang of how the melody fits with the chords, can you sing the melody and point to the chords with me as the chords change? We start with the 1 chord. Ready? Sing along and point. Silver birch alone in the meadow. Now we do it again. Standing all alone in the meadow. Great job. Now, press pause and practice this chord progression. First, just play the chords in this order, and then try to sing the words along as you play the chords. Great work. The final step is to play the melody in the right hand while you play the chords in the left hand. That's going to sound like this. Once you get here, I like to play the melody in both hands, like this. Nice work learning the chords to Silver Birch Tree. I recommend that you practice the chords by themselves for several days, and then when you're ready, feeling very confident with the chords, try adding the melody in the right hand while the chords play the left hand. Before you try that, it might be helpful to just play the chords while you sing the melody. If you'd like to download the music, which shows you where to play each chord, you can download that from our website. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.